Hello, welcome to Coffee with Ken. We have a guest here today. He is, you man, I've never seen such a get up here with Farmer Brown.
Farmer,
It's Farmer Brown from
yes,
Creative
yes,
Dynasty.
yes. My
Right
two
off the
off-farm
stage.
fresh egg people are here today.
Welcome to Coffee with Ken. Yeah.
Farmer Brown.
He's going to talk about what you plant,
Well, what you focus on, you're going to get more of. What you plant, what you nourish, you're going to get more of, and what you neglect is going to die. So what we need to talk about is what we're going to focus on.
Okay, so there you have it. We have Farmer Brown with us here today. And we've got Butch McCracken. He is general manager. And I'm Dr. April Brown, and I'm executive vice president here. And we're so excited to hear about what Farmer Brown's been up to since creating a dynasty.
Yeah.
Well,
wait.
a whole lot. Did you know that?
Tell
We've been a
us.
plowing, we've been a going, we've been a just making it do, is a blowing and a going.
You've been planting? Is this
Planting.
Is this your planting season?
It's a planting season. It's all about the planting. It's preparing for the big crop. But you know what you got to do first?
Mm-hmm.
You got to prepare the field. So we had to go out and clear it off. We had to get rid of all of the weeds. Took Butch out with me one day. But I got to tell you about another client here soon. You got to remind me about it. My other two
Your
farm fresh
friends?
egg girl. Yes.
They're farmers too?
She farmer. He paves roads, and she does a lot of things. She works for
Oh.
the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Her name is Nicole. You know Nicole and Gibb?
Yes.
Yes.
I know about them.
Yes.
They're amazing clients.
They are amazing clients. But you know what? You have to know that there's different cycles, so I'm glad you asked it. So in the winter, you're not going to be expecting a crop. You have to have a seasons. There's different seasons or cycles of when you plant and when you nourish and when you reap. Sometimes we want to do everything and think we're going to just immediately grow a crop when you haven't planted yet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I call a real miracle. But the reality is that's not how the Creator works. You first have to do the work. We always want the miracle without the work. I want to be fit and not flab, or as I was working before,
Mm-hmm.
fluffy. I had to do the work. You have to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
There's there's no Butch is starting running. He runs farther some days than I like driving. This guy, he gets on the things, and I see him running by the sign on my field in front of our house. He's run 20
On your
miles.
farm?
I think something was chasing him. I don't know why you would run 20 miles down a road.
I don't either, to tell you the truth. But
He's got pictures by the goats across the street from our place. And I'm saying, I know where those goats are. And he was running, pointing out the sign. He ran 20
It's a-
miles, one direction.
It was a long way.
Diane, you need to talk to the boy. 20 miles.
Mm-hmm.
No, just his shoes were smoking by the time he got home.
I thought a goat was chasing me. I just kept going.
He had a Forrest Gump moment.
Yeah.
Run across America.
Run, Butch, run.
But you know what? It really is about, and right there's going to yield because old Butch, he's got a big goal ahead. He wants to the crop he's working for is actually running. You know what it is? It's called an ultra marathon. Are you running 50 kilometers?
50 kilometers.
30 something miles.
Yes, sir.
That is crazy. That's awesome.
Mm.
But if you were not preparing that field right now,
Oh.
I hate to tell you this, you die.
I get eaten by a gator.
You die. You just get right off it. Fish food.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to
Yeah.
be running at Brazos Bend Park sometime in early April.
Yeah.
30 miles.
Yep. Watching out for those gators.
I'll be there cheering him on.
You will.
Yeah, I think we
So-
decided.
Where did you learn this stuff? Where did you learn about farming?
Well, people aren't going to believe this. They think sometimes this is just an act. They don't know that I was in Future Farmer of America, and I was actually awarded a Lone Star farming degree.
He didn't even know that.
It is. I did. So I knew how to grow wheat. I knew how to grow corn. I knew how to grow soybeans. I can farm, girl. And I did
Did you
farm.
have
You
animals?
actually knew me when I farmed.
Yeah.
I actually was picking. You saw me picking pears.
We'd go on the tractor and picking.
You thought it was just an act.
Mm. He's a
Thank
real
God I'm a
farmer.
country boy. It is true, and true.
Grew up on a farm.
That's right.
Hmm.
Mm.
And you have some animals.
I had some animals. I had Orville. I have a Duroc pig that I raised, and I had some
Bacon.
bacon. That's right. I did. I
Bacon,
sold him for a
bacon,
whole lot of
bacon.
money. Orville won first place because they had different size for different. You had a show you'd go to. In fact, there was this one here in Kerrville. It's the livestock
Oh,
show.
yeah.
You go in and you auction your critters off. Well, Orville was
Critters, that's
yep,
farmer.
your critters. You either are or you aren't. Well, they have this thing, if you know, or or something like that. Anyway, it's on one of those
Aren't.
social media things. I'm
Yeah.
still trying to figure all that stuff out. The farmer don't like that. It's distractions.
He does not. Like, he'll be like, why are these people showing up on my wall? Oh my god.
I like the commercial where the old lady had it in there and she had stapled pictures on the wall. And then one of them she didn't like anymore and she took their picture down. She says, I'm unfriending you. Remember that?
She's like, I don't think this is how this works at all.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So how does that relate to sowing and reaping? Because that's really what we're talking about. What you sow is what you reap. So when you're in a season of really getting the ground prepped, that's what we're doing right now in 2024. We've had an amazing event. We're getting ready for our next event, and we're headed towards it. And Farmer Brown has been coaching. He's been back in the game because this year, for Destiny Global, this year for our clients, is the true year of destiny for so many of you, because right now you're doing the hard. The hard is the running 20 miles, getting ready to run 30 miles. The hard is getting up at 5 a.m., Jackie and Carmen O'Quinn, so that you get more done by 8 a.m. than you were doing in most of the day. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What Dr. Brown is doing, getting up, I could hear her going. Farmer knows. He could hear the vacuum cleaner going right before the dog wanted to get up. It's her.
Before your mess that you created, or
Pretty
Oh,
much.
okay.
He rubs the dog, and all this hair comes upstairs with him. I try to keep the dog from upstairs, but they're rubbing, and it gets everywhere.
The
and then it
farmer has
falls
to
off.
have a dog. Now listen here too, Farm Fresh Girl. He is amazing, and he keeps all the critters away to get the critters that I want, and then I have to keep him in the house when the deer comes because he fights the bucks and all those things. But you know what? Let's talk about something. I was mentioning Nicole and Gibb. You know what? They've learned because they went through ups and downs in their relationship. And guys, I'm just going to share in generals here, right? But I got to tell you, so Nicole came in a time when they had gone through a rough spurt and they had actually not seeing each other anymore. And Nicole came and plugged in to Destiny Global. And I guess the second event she invited, this was during COVID and stuff, so I guess you actually met Gibb because he came to Bernie. We had a watch party in Bernie, Texas. And Gibb, to all beef patty boys, showed up at that event wondering what these crazy people were about. Now, I'm not going to go through his first
Very
perceptions, right?
skeptical.
Very skeptical.
Showed up very skeptical.
Very skeptical. Now then, that first event, he left and had an impression of something, and he told Nicole what that impression was, and I think she was about to kill him. I think he began to rethink things because the teaching began to impact him. But by the next event, Gibb became one of those Beatles songs. He became a believer, and he saw my face.
Yeah, well, he couldn't deny that there was changes in her. That's why he came in the first place, because he was like, okay, what's going on? I see these changes. So what are you doing? And so Nicole was like, I'm going to these events, and so was, showing through the results that it works. And so he came still skeptical, but then started seeing that it was for real, and started applying these things as well, and getting the results, so much so that he was actually working. You know that story.
He was working, and he actually got promoted. Now he's the foreman of a whole different crew in a different location. But here's a cool thing.
He was working just as a crewman himself.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, and then became.
He plants
foreman.
roads. He builds. He's good at what he does. But here's the fascinating thing about it. In the law of sowing, as he was sowing, he was literally sowing in himself. The first place you need to sow
Yes.
is in yourself.
That's right.
And
And
as
getting
he did that,
skills.
yes, he gained so much skill that he realized things that he needed to be doing differently and started taking action on that and started getting coaching and really furthering himself. And Nicole was doing the same thing, and they began to grow together, heal the relationship together, build trust together, build so many skills, increase income.
Mm-hmm.
Seek this guy out for counsel, actually bought an investment property together. And kind of fast forward, go over a period of months. At the last first steps of 2023, Gib pulled one on us, and he got down on one knee and got engaged to her. And she said, I do, because of that event, there was even more healing that needed to take place in her because she was sowing in herself too. And they began to sow in each other. When they did that, they watched as they grew closer, they were growing closer not only to each other, but to the Creator and His goals for their life. And experiences they had in the past that didn't work, now all of a sudden started working.
Because they had new skills and they were applying them.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And they are plugged in. They plug in because they're sowing. They do. I think they do everything. They listen to daily teachings we have through the Life Map. They're plugged into Ignite Your Life with Jackie and Carmen, which is amazing coaching. If you're not part of that, you better sign up. And I don't even know if it's open right now.
Yeah, I think usually at the events, after the events, they open up.
I
So
don't
maybe
know.
in
All I got to tell
April,
you,
never
yes,
know. So
yes.
when you get a chance,
Yeah.
get in there. Yeah,
Well,
we've
tell them where
seen
they can get some of these skills. Tell them, T Farm Fresh Egg Girl. Where?
First Steps to Success.
Yes.
That's
And our
it.
next one is April 12th through the 14th. And that is a great time to get in. That's one of our most powerful times because, it's you've gone through January, you made these resolutions, you kind of start getting a little bit lackadaisical about your
Yes.
goals.
Or can be discouraged, quite frankly.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so that's
Time to
a
reset.
perfect time to reset.
Yes.
Get back in to what you're focused on. What you focus on, you get more of.
Yeah.
Focusing on your mindset, focusing on making sure that you're getting out of debt, making sure that you're working on your people skills. All those things are covered at First Steps
Yes.
to Success. And just like Nicole and Gib, getting those skills so that they can have the life that they want, designing the life that they want.
You know what's so cool about that is they actually did want to be together. They did want some of the things. They just didn't
They
have
just
the
didn't know
skills
how
to know how to
to
get
do
there on their own.
And
And that's what we can help you do. We can help you reach your goals. In fact, that's what we're here for. That's the whole reason we exist. We could be off doing other things. I got more fields to go plow.
That's right.
More
Farmer
plant.
Brown.
That's right. We can go do it. But we like to be right here planting in your life.
Yeah, that's good. Well, thank you for joining us here today.
Yes. You too, Farm Fresh Egg Boy.
Now listen to all Be Petty Boy. You just keep up your running. You just go back and watch you some Forrest Gump and keep running.
Yes, indeed.
So thanks for reminding us about reaping and sowing. The law of reaping and sowing is so important to make sure that what we're sowing. So
Yes.
what we sow, we reap, and we reap even more of. It's not just what you sow, like you get more of what you sow because that's what reaping is.
Yes.
But whatever it is, if you're sowing bad, you get more of the bad.
Yes.
If you're sowing the good seed, you
get more of the good. That's so
and
good.
so we want to remind you to keep sowing good seed and share this so that more people can join us for Coffee with Ken.
Yes.
And we'll see y'all next time. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great day.
See you, gang.
Bye.